cost to pay. Like a freight train, you're tied to the tracks. No way to escape, there's no coming back. You're in my way, and I haven't got the time today. Best you walk away, and live to fight another day. Nothing personal, I just don't care. Won't bother explaining, it goes nowhere. Just know tomorrow won't come. If I end things today, suffering is the result of the game. Victory at the cost of pain. Like a freight train, you're tied to the tracks. No way to escape, there's no coming back. You're in my way, and I haven't got the time today. Best you walk away, and live to fight another day. Walk away, and live to fight another day.
Alright. Let me make sure everything is on the up and up with this here sound. Alrighty. So as a matter of fact, before I get started, okay, it's not a text message, that's just a stupid notification. Alright, so allow me to go ahead and address a couple of things. I got on Twitch TV tonight, and I was pretty much doing what I normally do, and that's look for WWE streams or look for late night Madden streams so I can watch these streams and fall asleep, get ready for work in the morning, and go on about my business. Okay? So, upon doing this, I'm, browsing through WWE, and I don't see anything, but I see videos from the last few hours and stuff, because nobody was live streaming WWE. So I said, okay, it's a video. It's a shoot video. I like shoots. I'm a big Joey Styles fan, and I was there for the whole CM Punk thing when he sat on stage and said this company will be better when Vince McMahon's dead. I was there for all of that. So I'm a big shoot guy. I was there when Paul Heyman did a shoot on JBL and everybody else in WWE, and especially Vince McMahon and Matt Hardy and all this stuff. Or not Matt Hardy, but Edge. So I was there for all that. I like shoots. Okay? So, I'm watching this shoot. I'm watching it. And I'm just, listening. I'm like, okay, it's a shoot video. I know these people, I remember these guys, and I'm listening to this shoot video, and it was pretty much former members of PCW talking about Ryan. Okay, that doesn't concern me. Don't care. I mean, I have no issue with Ryan. Never kind of really didn't have an issue with Ryan other than one incident that I'll get to in a minute. Or two incidents actually. But yeah, so I never really cared about what they were saying at the start because it didn't concern me. I'm not Ryan. I don't run PCW. That's not what I do. I run WGCW. So, it was all cool, you're going to do your shoot on your former, EFED promoter or whatever, promotion. Fine, do that, by all means. Go ahead. But then I heard, hold on, let me call special. Nigga, please. I heard WGCW mentioned, and I heard BWC mentioned. Now, BWC being WGCW's partner in crime, obviously, I'm not going to sit too well with either comment because one is just not true, and two, we haven't bothered nobody in years. So I don't see, since WWE 12, we have not had an E-Fed rivalry. So I don't see how anybody's coming at us with any type of shoots or running off at the mouth or things of that nature. So whatever it is, what it is. But I'm gonna let Pretty say what she gonna have to say. I'm not gonna speak on her behalf right now. I'm just letting people know she gonna speak. Now, for me, I'm listening to this video, okay, and I see that I hear that somebody is saying that the reason why, hold on, it gets serious when you have to clap. Hold on. The reason the reason why PCW had went wrong was because Ryan took bad advice from BWC and WGCW. Really? 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 Okay, so this is my, if I could ask a question, class. This is where I have a little issue with this. If I'm not mistaken, if you look at SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 all the way up through WWE 13 to the start of 2K14, and this is not me bragging or being, braggadocious or whatever you want to say, but if I'm not mistaken, WGCW has had the best viewer numbers since that time. From 2011 to 2013, at the end of WWE 13. If I'm not mistaken. And that's not me bragging, that's just fact. That's just fact. So for somebody to say that any advice that I give them E-Fed wise is wrong advice, and it's coming from somebody who's never run an E-Fed or who isn't known for anything or who isn't partnered with anybody or anything like that, it's just ridiculous to me. I don't understand this. I don't know where this is all coming from. And again, I'm not trying to be a bitch like I was proclaimed to be in this video, but if you're going to mention me, make sure you mention the facts, because that's all I'm going to mention here. So, this was the whole issue, okay? Let's break it down. Let's break it down a little bit. So what happened was, a new E-Fed came. Remember, you guys have to remember now, RCWF, BWC, WGCW, been here since 09. Been here. We've been here. We've already accumulated the thousands of viewers, the thousands of been here. Okay? So we've already hundreds of thousands of viewers. So been here. Okay? So for us to try to, this is my thought process, okay? For me to give wrong advice to somebody, it's to sabotage them, right? How can I sabotage something that's just getting started? I've already been established. Been there. Okay. So, and I started the same way. This is not knocking PCW or anything at all. They started off a lot better than I did. I started off with fucking PS2 SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. And I had a 12-man roster. But, knowing wrestling how I know wrestling and knowing what I feel fans would like to watch, I emulated on the game, and that's how WGCW grew and grew and grew and grew, and that's why we have 1.6 million views now. So, yeah, been there, okay? So, my whole thing is when PCW first came to Twitch TV, Twitch TV was still fairly new, They come to Twitch TV, and it's a new fed. I have no reason to beef with you. I have no reason. I don't even know you exist, and this is not knocking you. It's just I wasn't watching streams like that then, like I do now. So I wouldn't have known you existed because I was always on stream. So Pretty says, "Hey, Alan, or hey, CC, whatever. You gotta come and check out uh PCW. It's a new Fed. They're pretty nice. Whatever, blah blah. I'm helping them get started. Whatever. We're helping them. Me and Jax are helping them get started. And maybe you can throw some advice in there as well. Blah blah blah." So I said, "Okay, I'll go in here." I go in the channel. I don't offer advice. I don't offer advice because advice offered a lot of the times is unwanted. So I don't offer advice. I go on the channel and I'm typing it up, just trying to get to know Ryan and the rest of the guys. Hey, how you doing? Blah 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 blah. I met the franchise who was there at that time. I met Dr. Blaze, rest in peace, who was there at that time. I met abortionist or Alejandro Vendetta, who was there at that time, and a whole bunch of other people that were there at that time. So I'm not looking to argue and fight and fuss with nobody. I don't care about all that shit. So, but I will defend my name though. So I'm talking to these people, and Ryan's the one that typed in the chat, "CC, from your perspective, how do you do things in WGCW?" Then I give the advice. This is how I do it. You don't have to do it this way. I'm just telling you how I do it. Okay, it's two different things. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just telling you how I do it. So that's not me sabotaging anything that Ryan was doing. That's not me trying to corrupt his Fed or anything like that. No, that's just ridiculous. That's a bull-faced lie, and it's retarded, and the person that said that should be shot. But whatever. So, moving on, I was being called a bitch and all this and that because, for one, I don't even know this person that was doing all this shooting and whatever. I know of you, but I don't know you. Like, I don't even know you. I don't even really know you on the internet. So, going through this whole little scenario and all this shit, I'm being called this, I'm being called that, because Cece was a little bitch because feds, he was ruining our feds, he was making people jump ship or whatever he was saying, and I'm like, whoa, time out. Time out. Let's pause that statement right there, and let's go back to 2012 or early 2012. Yeah, let's go back then and let's look at this. Okay, let's analyze this. New Fed comes to Twitch. It's called PCW. WGCW already established, been everywhere. Okay, Machinima partnership, YouTube partnership, Twitch TV partnership, been there. We already have that. Okay, so there's no reason for me to sabotage anything. But when people found out that WGCW existed, obviously, and especially since I was trying to be friends with Ryan and everybody else, obviously they were going to pop into my channel at some point. So when Dr. Blaze, when Alejandro Vendetta, and when Jason Fury, and when the franchise decided that they wanted to come over to WGCW, it wasn't the fact that I messaged them and said, "Hey, you guys could be the shit over here, blah, 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 blah. You could do this, you could do that, blah, 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 blah." No, it had nothing to do with that. And this is the funny part that's going to kill you in a minute. Okay, so what it was they checked out my channel and they seen a better product. Let's just throw it out there. They seen a better product. They seen an E-Fed that allowed their members to have creative control over their CAWs. Okay? They had creative controls over their CAWs. And they still do to this day, because I don't believe in handcuffing somebody over a creative wrestler in a video game. I just don't believe in that. I just want them to be human. That's all I ask. And, go on about your business. But they have creative control. They noticed that. Okay. Dr. Blaze is like, well, Ryan won't let me be 7'2", 350 pounds in PCW. So if I can do it in WGCW, I want to go over there because I want to use my guy the way I made him, the way I thought of him, the way I designed him and his height and his weight and his build and where he's from and his moveset and this and that. Okay. Now me, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, well, you shouldn't leave because, blah 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 blah. I don't know anything about the Fed. So I can't say how hard this person works or how hard he's working to make sure that your guy's doing this. I can't say that. I don't know anything. Plus, if you're not happy somewhere, leave. Leave. I've had people leave WGCW to go to BWC, and it's no salt, on the wounds or anything. RCM was one of the people that recently just left WGCW because I wasn't active enough and went to BWC. Okay, I understand. It's a video game. He's still a mod in my channel. There's no ill will towards it. You know what I'm saying? It's retarded to sit here and hold these little grudges or whatever. But when people talk about me and stuff personally, I'm going to defend myself. But yeah, so anyways, these guys that I mentioned, Franchise, Vendetta, Dr. Blaze, Jason Fury, they left PCW, came over to WGCW. They had creative control over their characters because I don't believe in handcuffing nobody. They seen a better product. I didn't force them to leave, but I didn't tell them to stay. That's just the way that went. Okay? So then, this is what happened. Not WGCW giving wrong advice or not BWC giving wrong advice to PCW. No, this is what happened. What happened was when those guys left PCW because they liked someplace better, Ryan got upset and he was distraught and he didn't want to do Fetting anymore. And then he left for a little bit and then he came back and everything was cool. And then, he was upset with me still and because he thought I made them jump ship, but that was never the case. But, he was like, I'm upset because these guys left and they were my friends, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And, okay, I can understand you're upset these guys left. But you guys have to keep in mind that a lot of the reason why Ryan was gone wasn't because of just people leaving and jumping ship or whatever. It was because he had a real life. He had a job, he had school, he had a girlfriend, a fiance, he had to move, he had apartments, he had this, he had that. He had a real life. So for him to be gone and people to sit here and bitch at him and complain, well, you said you were going to come back and do this video game and you're not, so fuck you. And it's not fair to him. He has a real life. So, the game will fade. But that's why he was gone. Not because I pushed him out of the Fetting world or BWC pushed him out of the Fetting world. No, he was gone by his choice because he had real life shit to do. He had his wrestling dream. He wanted to try that, and he went off and did this. So I'm saying he had stuff he was doing. Now, when you look at when he was supposed to return, okay, Ryan was supposed to make this big return, and it's like, okay, everybody's psyched up. PCW's coming back. Yeah, woo, yeah. And then somebody, I don't know who it was, but takes half his roster to their Fed. He's like, okay, well, fuck it. I don't need this shit. And he left again. So that has nothing to do. The reason why I'm mentioning that is because that has nothing to do with WGCW. That has nothing to do with BWC. That has nothing to do with RCWF. That has nothing to do with AKI Pro Wrestling. That has nothing to do with XWE. That has nothing to do with anything. QZW, that has nothing to do with WWE, WCW, ECW, Ring of Honor, Chikara, New Japan Pro Wrestling. That has nothing to do with shit. That has nothing to do with nothing at all. So don't sit there and try to say like it's our fault. Yeah, he took wrong advice from Pretty Jackson CC because they don't know e-fetting. If we did know e-fetting, why are we still here? It doesn't matter. And this is the funny part. This is the kicker that I was talking about that you're going to laugh about. Everybody that left PCW to come to what they felt was a better product has been world champion. And it wasn't no incentive that they got for joining. It's because the characters were really good. And their promos were really good, so they got chances. And the thing was when you have writers who just don't feel like that person should get a shot because they might have a E-Fed beef with that person inside their own Fed, then somebody doesn't get a shot or whatever. This is why I don't have writers. If you want advice, I'll give you some advice. Don't have a writer. Write it yourself. I write my shows myself the day of the show. Therefore, I know nobody can tell me shit. Nobody knows what's going on but me and the storyline. And I still don't know who's going to win or lose the matches because everything is run through the computer versus computer. I don't pre-record. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that because CWF did it and they were really good. BWC does it. They're really good. But they're not predetermining the matches. They're just pre-recording the show. So they know what's going to happen, but the matches are genuine. That's what I'm saying. So I don't want nobody getting misconstrued with what I'm saying. But yeah, so I make the shows the day of the show. I have 3 people to help me with my website, and that's just simply updating it. I do the match card, I do the storylines, I do the commentary, I create the show. The only thing I don't do is some editing on the site, but I still edit my own website, and then the banners, which are made by Kevin. So that is the only things that I don't do. Everything else I do myself. Why? Because I don't have to have somebody in my ear about something over here, something over there, or you know what I'm saying? Somebody in my ear about somebody in their ear, about somebody in their ear, about somebody in their ear. I don't have to deal with that shit. Everything's all in my head already. I know what I want to do. So, having said that, I'm like, okay, this is why we had the longest, probably one of the longest eFed tenures on this site without drama, because I didn't have to worry about getting other people's opinions about how to run a Fed, because I know wrestling. I know, and then I know Twitch TV, I know JTV. I've been here since before Twitch, so I know the site, so I know what my followers like. I'm not putting out on the show what I like. If I put out on the show what I like, Cash Money would have been champion since 2012 when he last held it, and he would have never have lost it because I don't like to lose. And Cash Money represents myself, my own character, so I don't like to lose. So I'm not putting out what I like. Of course I like my shows, but I'm not putting out what benefits me and shit. I'm putting out what benefits the viewers because they get into these characters, and then other viewers that aren't even in the Fed get into the shows because it's so diverse in what we're doing. It's not the same old song and dance. You're not seeing the same old 3 people who are competing for the world title. No, it's not WWE. It's not where it's just Daniel Bryan and John Cena and fucking Kane or whoever they got competing for the shit. It's everybody's being used. So, with maybe exception of 2 people, and that's because they're never here. So I'm not going to lie about that. But that's, if you want some advice, do everything yourself. Stop relying on everybody to do things for you. Oh, I need a match card maker. For what? It's a video game. You think this person and that person would be a good match, then book it. It's that simple. Book it. Book it. And if you need a storyline, if you need somebody to help to write your storyline, then the only things I can see that being reasonable is because, or plausible, is because you just don't have time. Okay? You just don't have time, or you're just lazy. Because Pretty and Jax write their own storylines, and they're a married couple, so it might be a little bit easier for them, but it's not hard for me, and I'm by myself. I just do my own shit. So, it's just laziness. Write your own shit. I can come up with a show right now and have it going in the next 45 minutes if I wanted to, and it would all make sense. Because I know what's going on in my own Fed. I can leave for a month and a half, which I just did. I left for a month and a half and came back 2 weeks ago and still hit the 56 viewers and still hit the high numbers as if I was never gone for WGCW, because people know that I'm going to give them a quality show no matter when I get on and go live, because I know what's going on in my eFed. I could not do anything. I could go to the club, drink, and smoke every single day and come back and write a storyline that meshes with the last thing done in WGCW after a month to 2 months, 3 months. It doesn't matter how long. I remember and know what's going on in my own Fed. So I'm just saying, all in all, for people to come and try to, down talk me like I was some type of asshole and some type of arrogant asshole. No, I'm not an arrogant asshole. I speak facts. I've only spoke facts. And if you want facts, I'll give you legitimate facts. And that's from 2011 to 2013. WGCW was the most viewed eFed on Twitch TV at that time. That is not me being bragging about it, but that's just fact. I've gone on Twitch TV and I streamed and I had Jay Easy as a color commentator when I was actually willing to do it, and just before his son LJ was born, and a little bit after. But yeah, he came and did commentary, and we were pulling 300 viewers a night. I go on YouTube and we're pulling 8,000 people a night for a universe show. It doesn't even have storylines. We were pulling 2,000 for shows with no commentary. It's just a match and sound effects. Michael Cole and King aren't even doing commentary. So from that time to this, we were the most viewed. It's not about trying to trash anybody or throw them down. I'm just saying, if you're going to talk about us, talk fact. Don't sit here and make it seem like we're the evil big bad wolf that's trying to kill grandma and wait for Little Red Riding Hood, because that's not the case. I'm just saying, if you were as good as you thought you were, you wouldn't have had to open your mouth about any other E-Fed. Like I said, the only reason why I'm doing it is because I'm going to defend mine, because I've been here since 2009, so I'm not going to let somebody just come walk over me. No, I've been here. So if you were as good as you thought you were, you would not have to open your mouth about anything. You would let your Fed do the talking for you. When you go live and I go live, compare viewers. Compare viewers. When you run your show and I run WGCW, compare your viewers. Or BWC goes live and you feel like, oh, well, we're the big bad wolves in this whole situation. Compare viewers. And once you see that we're still on the top of the mountain, then you will understand that there was never a reason for us to try to sabotage you, because we're already at the top of the mountain. Why try to take down something that's below you? You can't reach it. You have to wait for it to get to you. Then you can try to tear it down if you want to. But I'm not that type of person. I'm just saying there's no point in reaching down when I'm constantly moving up. So that is it for my shoot. For my little pipe bomb. That is it. That's all I'm going to say right now, because not too much was said about me in a 50 some odd minute video. But I figured I would come and say a little bit something too, because, I don't talk about nobody. I've left everybody alone. And for some people to be like, oh, well, he's a bitch because of this and that, blah, blah, blah. No, don't blame me. Blame your E-Fed runner. Blame that person. And if you can do better, then go, by all means, you run an E-Fed, and we'll see how many followers and viewers you get. We'll see. Yeah, whatever. All right, so you do that. You do what you do. But anyways, since you want to talk, it's now over. And who knows, I might make this a weekly thing if people keep running their mouths, because I like to argue. I'll argue an innocent man to death row because I don't give a shit. It's a video game. It's fun for me. So, that is it. That is pretty much it for Since You Want to Talk. I'll tell you what, since we got, a few viewers, I know Hawkeyes is in here, Crazy Ray is in here. If y'all want to ask me any type of questions regarding this whole situation, y'all go ahead and hit me with a quick little questionnaire before I hop off, and let me know what's going on, what's happening, Gert. Let me know what's going on, because I might make this a weekly show called Since You Want to Talk, and this will be the retaliation of shoots, if you will. So let me know what it is, what it was, and what it's going to be like. I mean, I think I pretty much covered everything that there was to cover, everything that was said about me. I'll try to say that I was the reason because I gave him bad advice. No, if I'm at the top of the mountain, any advice I give you, you should take. And the reason why a lot of stuff didn't work in PCW is because he didn't take that advice, because he didn't like my style of commentary, and because he didn't like the way my paint tools were done because it looked too generic for him. I don't care about spending 6 hours for a paint tool. I don't care about spending 6 hours for a paint tool for four people to come watch it. No, I'm more invested in writing my own storyline instead of having a writer do it for me because what they might write might be good to them, but it might suck to everybody else. So that's why if you have wrestling knowledge, you know what your viewers like. And if you have Twitch TV knowledge and you're running a channel, you know what your fan base likes and your viewer base likes. So it's just ridiculous to sit here and say that it's my fault that it went on. No, it's not my fault. Any advice I give you, you probably should have taken because I'm at the top of the mountain. I'm at the top of the mountain with a damn. I'm yodeling here. I'm yodeling. I'm at the top of the freaking mountain. There's no point in me reaching down and throwing rocks down at people that are trying to climb up. There's no point in that. There's no point in that. So, if I give you EFED advice and you're a new up and coming EFED, then accept it. And if you don't accept it, that's fine too. I don't really care either way. I'm just saying if any advice I give you is probably going to benefit a new up and coming EFED. You know, I can't give Tad Peters EFED advice. He was here first. He's been here. What can I possibly tell him about EFEDing that he doesn't already know? I can't tell Pretty and Jack's EFED advice. They were here before me. They've been here. What can I possibly tell them that they don't already know? They were here. And then I came a little bit after and climbed my way up to the top. Like I said, from 2011 to 2013, WGCW was the most watched statistically EFED, viewer-wise, follower-wise, on freaking out of every Twitch TV